Yo, what's up, YouTube? This is your boy Jay from Keeping It Real, your arbiter of gaming news and commentary, hitting you off with a studio production video where you know this is your channel, where all gamers' voices are heard. With your boy Jay, always dropping the word. Keeping them other gaming YouTubers like, what you heard? And where you always know, we always keep it all the way real. So what's up, everybody? Just want to thank you all for checking out my studio production video today, and just want to thank everybody who's dropping comments and leaving likes. Just want to let you guys know I really appreciate it. This is why I do it, for people who can appreciate the content. So like usual, let me go ahead and dig right into this, man. So this is going to be an interesting video. I thought I would do because there's been a lot I've been noticing within the gaming community, man. A guy like me, I really pay attention to the things that are going on, and for me it's always interesting to look at the psychiatry behind it all, how people think about things, how trends change, and I always look at the interesting indicators, that where things go one way or another, why. I'm always looking at the background, so what's an interesting prospect to me is I wanted to talk about the prospect of, are Sony fanboys now all of a sudden crossing over to be Xbox fanboys? And how is that dynamic taking place, and what's going on with that, man? I wanted to go ahead and dig into that because I think that's an interesting prospect that I see more and more happening. And I notice this from, different independent channels, as well as just the, comments and just the mood of what's happening, the movement, what guys were saying before. Now they're kind of giving a little wiggle room, kind of switching it up a little bit, not being so critical. Now realizing, oh, okay, yeah, maybe I was a little wrong, but not maybe necessarily saying that, but, giving Xbox a little bit more praise than what they usually do. And I just noticed a lot more, the mood has changed, I've already been, you guys see my videos on the media, and you guys know how the media is going to change, because it's all about the money when it comes to them. But I wanted to dig into the fanboy psychiatry, and the different things, the different levels, and wanted to start breaking it down, digging into it. So I think that when it comes to, I just think this, when it comes to anybody, you got to think about this. Why is a lot of, especially when it comes to Sony fanboys, now this especially, why do you think a lot of them were fanboys in the first place? Think about this. When you're in school, whether it's junior high or high school, think about how much of a big impulse it is to be a part of something that is very popular. Think about it. When you got a group of people who are popular, everybody likes them, they're the in crowd, you'll see so many people who will jump in on that crowd just so they can grab up some of that attention, just so they could be liked, just so they could be on the in crowd, right? That's a huge impulse to want to be a part of that. And you got to understand, when it comes to Sony, you got to understand, as a brand, they've become they're a part of that in trend. If you like PlayStation, you was part of the in trend. You were the in crowd. Like, yeah, you were cool. And I'm talking about back then, not necessarily so much now, but I'm talking about years ago, especially. I mean, you had, this is where the gamers play, greatness awaits and all this stuff. You was all for it, right? Because that was the in crowd. It was easy to be a PlayStation guy or be a PlayStation fanboy because you had the media on your side, you were liked, you had everything, right? The media was on your side, you had more third party support and attention, you know what I mean? It was just all about PlayStation, right? So now think about it when you see those trends starting to change, right? It's not so all about PlayStation anymore. Now things are looking a lot more gloomy and a lot more dark. Everything's starting to darken up. All the light you had and it was looking all great. Now that's starting to die down. You notice who's blowing up the news right now? Who's blowing it up? Who's been blowing it up for months now? Xbox. You ain't been seeing nothing about really PlayStation and what they've been doing and what's going on. Almost every day you see something coming out for PlayStation, some news that it's been hitting one after another. You got to understand what that translates to is appeal and a trend that is moving away from PlayStation and now to Xbox. And you got to understand, when you see that trend moving both in the media and both in public pop culture, where everyone, whether good or bad, I mean, especially when it comes to just the gaming community, it's all about Xbox. I mean, because what are you really going to be saying about PlayStation right now? What is really being said? Yeah, they're going to have a Tokyo show. They got that coming up, whatever. But who cares? Like, when it comes to, do you see a long list of games that are coming out for the PS4 Pro? Do you see that the PS4 Pro was selling like hotcakes ever? Do you see that, there's so many different new features that are coming to the PS4 Pro. They got this, they got that. No, none of that in the media, because none of that never happened. I mean, they came out on a whimper. Remember how the PS4 Pro started? The PS4 Pro started when they were gonna announce it, but once Microsoft announced the X, Sony didn't even want to come out and say anything about a PS4 Pro because they know their console was irrelevant at the start. So I don't know if you guys remember that, but remember back when the X was first announced, they literally completely and utterly marginalized the Sony. They didn't even want to talk about the Pro after that. So they didn't even announce it at first. They was scared to say anything. They came out later and announced the Pro. So remember how it came to be about. And then, it launched, and what was the critical acclaim at that time by most of the media? If you already have a PS4, they didn't see much of a reason to update to the PS4 Pro because it wasn't that much of a difference. At least not right now. So maybe you might want to hold off. Anyone could argue and say whatever they want, but that was pretty much the reception of the PS4 Pro. Overall, that was what the impressions were from the media. They couldn't even validate that bull. They couldn't even sit there and try to spin that and sure, parts of media did try to do it, but I mean, let's just keep it real. When it came, they knew that they were going a long way to spin because, truth be told, the PS4 Pro just didn't really have a lot of support. It still doesn't. This is almost a year later. It just still doesn't because, like I said, like I keep trying to tell people, Sony did not make this PS4 Pro, as to be really a 4K machine. That's pretty obvious. If you just really look at it and see how it's designed, it's pretty obvious that that's not really what it's for. They're trying to make it that, but that's not what it's really about. It wasn't built because if it was, they would have waited and actually did a full step, made sure that it was a competent machine that could handle not only right now, but into the future. But they didn't do that. And they didn't do that because, of course, they didn't think they had to. They were so cocky and so arrogant, they just thought they could shit out anything and then people would buy it, just like it was with the PS4. They just thought you would just buy it because you're an idiot. So if you're buying up the PS4 like that, of course, we can just put a crappy PS4 Pro on top of that, not do any real work to make it anything that was superior, that would actually last or would actually be something that was innovated into the future and future proof. No, we don't have to do all that. We can just poop one out and people will just buy it just because it's Sony label on it. And that's what happened. And now they're finding out, no, it don't exactly work like that. No, it doesn't. That's just not how it works. You're not that big. You can be brought down. Don't just think you can just poop out anything and it'll just work. It's just, no. Markets change. You got to change with the times. And when you don't, then you go out of business. Now, I'm not saying that to say, of course, Sony's not going to go out of business, and I wouldn't want that. But I'm just saying, Look at Blockbuster. Blockbuster went out of business because they didn't change with the times. Netflix handed them their own butt when it came to Blockbuster. Why? Because they didn't change with the times. And Blockbuster probably thought at the time everybody's just gonna mess with us because we're Blockbuster. Bad mistake. Bad mistake. Nope, doesn't work like that. Market doesn't work like that. So now Sony's getting their lumps, which is good, because hopefully that'll make them wake the hell up and get their own heads out of their own butts and actually start doing something to, warrant it what their big name supposedly is, right? So hopefully we'll see that moving forward with the PS4 5, and hopefully PS4 5 will be backwards compatible. That will be nice. And that's what I like right now. What's going on, what's interesting, is you see all these good things happening on the Xbox side. And it's funny to see a lot of these guys that were straight up starch fanboys, straight up Sony ponies, man. Now all of a sudden they're talking about Xbox. And Xbox not so bad. At least, they got this, they got that, and now all of a sudden they can realize the good things that Xbox have. Couldn't do that before, but all of a sudden you can now. Now what's changed? Popular opinion. The trend. See, now it's becoming more of an in thing to like Xbox. So now you get all these guys that they were only really liking PlayStation because of the attention and to feel good about it. Now it doesn't feel so good to be straight up a PlayStation fanboy. Now you just feel stupid. You know what I mean? So kind of it's time for me to maybe switch over a little bit. And that's what you're saying. You're seeing some guys straight up just switch over, and then you're seeing some guys that are stuck in the middle where they're kind of like they still on PlayStation, but now they're kind of being more fair when it comes to the valid factual points of what the Xbox is doing. Now they're kind of, and then you got guys that are kind of semi-neutral. Now all of a sudden they're neutrals. Now all of a sudden they never were fanboys. No, they were neutral all the time. So I think those are the three transformations you're seeing when it comes to these fanboys, man. It's really interesting. Seeing them switch up, and it's cool. Welcome to the Xbox community. You know what I'm saying? I'm not tripping. I mean, because of course most of all these guys are getting the Xbox X, of course, because they do want the most powerful console. They do want to play the best looking and running games. I mean, there's no way getting around that. Like, come on. Like, you think they ain't paying attention to these comparisons that are coming out? You think they ain't paying attention to the interviews, the new recent interview that came out, that they interviewed the X and they loved it. Everyone who gets their hands on it, who actually gets to see the X in action and gets to play it, they're instant fan. Instantly. Of just, they're in awe. And that's what the reception is. A complete and utter opposite contrast from the Pro. And you don't think that doesn't start to weigh heavily even on the starches of Sony fanboys? Of course it does. If anything, it makes them start to realize, okay, well, maybe I better start giving a little bit more respect to the X in Microsoft than I previously did, because shit, at the end of the day, I guess they're doing it, and that is something that will start to take hold, and that is something that will start to transform people's mindsets, and they'll start to realize, well, at the end of the day, that's valuable to me. I mean, I want to get those nice, pretty graphics. I want to get nice, smooth, locked frame rate, and I want to get those nice textures and, faster loading times and cool ass network. I mean, it's not really like, I'll tell you, when I got a PS4, still do, I got it. I barely play it. And I got my Infamous and what did I get? I got 3 games. And I think I got Ratchet and Clank, Infamous, and I forget what else. What other game? I can't even remember right now. That tells you how much I've been playing it. You know what I mean? But I've gotten through a lot of Infamous. I'm about to beat it soon. But really for me, it's really just for exclusives. I just don't really use it for much anything else, because I mean, when you boot it up, it's just the same. I think of it as a PS3. It's still, the interface and everything is all the still same clunky, slow boxes after boxes, and that's just not my thing, you know. And I know I wouldn't want to invest into $60 on paying for the network, because why? Like, I don't really see the, you know, I wouldn't want to game on it when it comes to multiplats, because I don't want to really play no multiplayer on it, because I don't want to pay $60 for something that is subpar. Like, I just don't want to do that. I don't see the point into spending on the PSN just to have some subpar stuff. Their free games are mostly garbage. You know, I don't want the free games that they have. Sometimes they have good stuff. Like lately or before, they've been having some good stuff because they've been getting a lot of criticism. But let's just keep it real. When it comes to Xbox, no, there's not even a comparison. When it comes to their reliability and the speed of their network, no, it's not nowhere near on par with Xbox. Not even close. And also their voice chat, it sucks. Like, I just don't like their chat, their sketchy voice chat. I used to have it before, and I just felt like it was in and out. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. You know, and it was so cumbersome. I just, you know, and the network itself, I always had problems with it. And this is me personally. And I didn't trip before because it was free. But to now pay for all that, and they didn't really update it or do anything, and the software updates a lot of times they have is more hurts the console than actually do anything good for it. So no thank you, I'll pass. I don't see the point in spending $60 for something that I think is a total ripoff, when they just don't have the, you know, reliability and the performance of their network. Why would I do that? I just don't see the point. I just think that I would feel ripped off paying $60 every year for that. No thank you. So it really doesn't have anything, you know, and I'm just keeping it real. Like, it really doesn't, especially in comparison to Xbox. So my thing is I wouldn't really see a point to do that. And you got to understand that on the flip side, when it comes to guys who are coming from PlayStation, they got every reason to do that. They got every reason to not only get an X, but to invest into the Xbox ecosystem in regards to its network, because its network is giving you all types of stuff. You know, you're going to get fast and reliable performance. You know, you're going to get updates that are actually going to matter, that allowing you to custom make your system. Look at the update that's coming out in the fall. You can customize your whole interface. You can do it's even faster than it is. It's going to be even faster than it is now, where everything I can go to one app to another in mere seconds. By contrast to the PlayStation, nah, it ain't happening like that. And once guys start getting their hands on that, a lot of these guys that were previously PlayStation really start seeing how intuitively fast it is, really start seeing how fun and easy it is, and start customizing stuff and start putting on it. Then they're going to realize, and then seeing that the network is pretty much always up. You're not having no problems with it, and the voice chat is working like it's supposed to. You know, then especially you go ahead and pick up a Game Pass. Not to mention games. I mean, come on. They're coming to 400 backwards compatible games. They're coming to all the Xbox exclusives. And then they're coming to all the best multiplats. Looking the best and playing the best. I mean, that's a lot to come to. Come on, man. They got a lot to come to when it comes to Xbox. They got a lot of features, a lot of, okay, there's a good reason for me to be switching over. I get all these things with Xbox, things that they couldn't do on a PlayStation. You see what I'm saying? So for them, they got plenty that they got to look forward to, and they can do. So I just think it's one of those things that's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting seeing, I would say, in the next year how things are going to change when it comes to the trends and when it comes to what's the end thing now. You know what I mean? Because and it'll be good, because it'll be time for PlayStation to get their act together and start getting things straight. and maybe just start realizing that, you know, they need to get their head out of their butt and actually start doing things for their gaming community. And that'll be great, because that's what we want to see. We want to see these companies duke it out, man. But we want to see them fight to be more pro gamer, actually for gamers, for the consumer. We don't want to see them fight to be anti-consumer. And that's what I like about Xbox paving the way, because Phil is very pro gamer. He's very pro consumer. And that's the great thing right now, that we got a company that is actually pro consumer, and they're setting the trends for other companies to be pro consumer. And that's what it comes down to at the end of the day. That's what we want to see. And that's what I think is so great about what Microsoft is doing in regards to the Xbox, is we're getting a true pro-consumer company that, that in Phil Spencer, that actually cares about making sure that gamers, we listen to gamers and they get what they want. Now, that doesn't mean every single thing, but it means most things. And that's what I'm excited about overall, because overall gamers win when that happens, because that makes all other companies take a look at that. And once they see that that's a model that is profitable and that's a good positive model, then they'll look into following it. You know, you don't think that Sony ain't thinking a lot more about maybe their next console being backwards compatible? Of course they are. Of course they are. Of course they are. They're seeing what Microsoft is doing, and they're seeing the acclaim and the praise that they're getting. Of course, it makes them think a lot more about it. So that's the great thing. Man, I'm going to put it, I'm going to go ahead and end it right there, man. I want you guys to go ahead and tell me what you guys think. Are you guys seeing the crossover? You know what I'm saying? Let me know. All right, man. I appreciate you guys checking out my video. Go ahead and make sure you like, share, subscribe. You're not a part of the Keep It Real family. Make sure you hit that bell, man. Get those notifications. I'm gonna be up on these videos a lot more often. I stepped off for a minute, but I'm trying to make it back. Get that content out there. I know you guys want to get it up. Get that content. Keep your content moving. So I'm gonna keep it going. But all right, man. You guys stay up, and I appreciate it, man. I'm gone. This is Jay. I'm always keeping it real, and I'm gone.